Ghostbusters. Again. I know I said that last time. Hopefully that was the last time we would talk about it, but hopefully this is going to be the last time we talk about it. So, Ghostbusters. Apparently it did very well its opening week. And that's it. So, let's go over some of these numbers, shall we? Okay, so to date, the movie, and when I say to date, let me be very specific here. This is from as of August 10th, so we're recording this August 12th, so a couple of days ago here. According to the Hollywood Reporter, it has made $180 million at the global box office, which includes a $117 million domestic take. So in the U.S., $117 million. It had a production budget of $144 million and a considerable marketing spend. And Sony's estimate that it will need to make or earn at least $300 million just to break even. And this is very typical, especially with large budget movies. You usually have over $100 million set aside just for the movie, and then you usually have at least $100 million. Sometimes it could be double what your budget was for what it costs to actually make the movie. Sometimes you have as much as twice the amount of marketing budget that you spend for it. So, taking into account the marketing and the production cost for this movie, it needs $300 million to break, and so far it's made $180. It's not going to hit the $300 million at this point. And it's been out for about a month now. If not a month, close to it, because I want to say it came out like July 10th, somewhere around there. So, what does this mean for the potential sequels of this controversial franchise? Well, according to Sony distribution boss Rory Brewer, he said that last month he was sure that a sequel would happen. This was right after the good opening that it had, and then it dropped off horrendously the next week and didn't recover. It seems like they're going to have a projected $70 million in loss. Sony is trying to downplay that. They're trying to bring up things like, we've got multiple revenue streams, including consumer products and gaming, location-based entertainment. This is just what I imagine the head of Sony TriStar as. Location-based entertainment, continued international rollout, and huge third-party promotional partnerships that mitigated costs. The bottom line, even before co-financing, is not remotely close to that number. So the movie has not launched yet, and I want to say some major markets. Let's see. Oh, yes, it hasn't opened yet in France, Japan, and Mexico. France, even though they may hate Americans, they do like our movies. Japan, this will probably do pretty well in. Mexico, I honestly don't know. However, it's looking like the estimates are, even after its global run, $225 million. So, yeah, a little bit shy of that $300 million break-even point. So this means that a sequel is probably not going to happen. They may, looks like they're going to make an animated feature. And when I first read this earlier today, I thought, oh, well, this sounds like it could be maybe it is a show. Okay, so it looks like, now that I'm looking at this, so there's going to be an animated feature as the next big screen. And then in addition to that, they're going to have an animated show called Ghostbusters Ecto Force in 2018. And we'll just have to wait and see what their plans are for that. I just don't think that this movie has reinvigorated the interest in Ghostbusters at all. What do you think?
No, like honestly, I didn't need an article to tell me that this wasn't gonna make a sequel. And that's not saying that it's bad or that I think it's bad because I haven't seen it. It's just based off how much popularity this got and how many people just didn't like it. I didn't think it was gonna do very well. Um, and you know what? It's kind of seeming like that right now. So yeah. And then for them to come out and say, I don't know, I don't think I want to see them do anything animated, show or movie. Just
See,
no.
the cartoon, the real Ghostbusters, um, you can't really watch that today. It's very dated. I don't even think maybe little kids might like it, but I don't know. See, it at least kind of had the slapstick humor of early 90s cartoons. It wasn't like Tom and Jerry slapstick humor, but it had some of that in there to make it relatable to little kids. And this was off the success off of the first two movies. With this not being much of a success at all, this reboot, I don't know what they're going to do with this. Are they going to make are they going to make the show just like they did with the real Ghostbusters, where it continues the story of that the movie started with, or is this going to be a whole new group of Ghostbusters? Either way, I don't see the show lasting long. And the director, Paul Feig or Paul Feig or however it is that you pronounce his last name, there's another article that I saw this week that basically said that he's never going to reboot another classic movie again. Thank goodness. Okay? Because the way that the PR for this movie was handled was absolutely horrendous. The fact that Sony tried to turn around all of this, like, oh, you're not going to go see it because there's women in it. The fact that they tried to turn that around and basically make it like a call to arms to everyone who thinks that, hey, misogyny is dead. When it wasn't misogyny at all, but they tried to paint this narrative that made the movie seem like it was a social statement to go see it. And it completely, like, people, A, didn't care one way or another. They were never going to go see the movie. Or B, it completely backfired. And they're like, you know what? I'm tired of this nonsense. I'm tired of seeing this in the news. It doesn't matter what it is that I turn on. I'm tired of this stuff being in my face. And I'm just not going to be a part of it. I think that's what happened with a lot of people. And you know what? Serves them right. Like, I usually don't care whether a movie is successful or not. When I see a movie moving in a direction where I'm like, I don't think that's good quality. Yeah, I don't want it to be successful because I want something done with the Ghostbusters line that is actually funny and well written. And while I still haven't seen the movie, have you?
Nope.
Well, we haven't seen it. Everything I've heard about the movie is exactly what you think it's going to be. It's like 10-year-old humor. There's some kind of joke about some guy pooping his pants that they keep going for like an uncomfortable amount of time in one scene. They keep referring back to it. Like, yeah, I think you pooped your pants. No, I didn't poop your pants. I think you pooped your pants. That kind of thing. It's like, your audience isn't 10 years old with this movie. That kind of stuff I'm sorry, it doesn't belong in a major motion picture blockbuster of the summer. And I'm glad it didn't work, honestly.
Yeah. And another problem that I have is people rebooting old movies. It's just kind of like I feel like a lot of things nowadays are just it's not really creative or like someone else's own idea. It's just like a reboot of something that was good, and people think that if they modernize it, it'll be good now. Why not just make your own idea? Like plenty of not as many people do it, and it's hard to come up with a new idea that people will get can get behind. But it's possible, and when people do get behind it, usually it's pretty good. So whenever I see people that are just like, or whenever I just see like cartoons or movies that are just like, here it is, you liked it 20 years ago, you're gonna love it now. No, probably not.
See, I feel like reboots have a there's a certain way you have to go about them. Most of here's a good example: the Ninja Turtles cartoons. I would say probably 80% of them are good, including the original. There's some here and there, like I know they did like a live action show that no one wants to think about anymore. That was kind of in the late 90s. That didn't do well. But the other Ninja Turtles shows, the ones that are the cartoons, they're actually pretty good shows. And it doesn't matter if you do a reboot or if you do original material. If it's written well, if it has the production values that people are expecting, if you actually put effort into it, instead of just having, like in this movie, Bill Murray, he had two cameos. Both cameos, he's sitting down. Talk about phoning it in. That kind of stuff, moviegoers are able to see right through. And they're able to see when something is a legitimate, hey, we have an interest. We want to revitalize this franchise. We want to make it into something great again, as opposed to cash grab. And I feel like most people saw this movie as just that, a cash grab. And Hollywood, honestly, if you want to keep making reboots, I'm not to the point where you are, where I'm just tired of them altogether. I just feel like there's definitely ways to do it right, and most of the time they don't, which is why we're to the point where, yeah, we are tired of it. Just do a good job at it is what it comes down to. And don't try to, I wouldn't pander to your fans, but I also wouldn't completely go to the length that they did, where they just basically insulted most of the people who were potentially going to see this movie. You can't do that. And we get to say it again. We told you so.
By the way, you were very close on guessing the day. It came out July 11th.
Ooh.
That's still pretty close.